Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to Sparking with Lovely. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have had a great week thus far. Today is Thursday, and this is just a random video, a little story time. Whenever I first started Sparking, I would take any and every order, just to put myself available or useful. Kind of like when you're at a job and they have open shifts and you take them, just to get yourself familiar with, what's going on. So one particular evening, late evening, I took an order and it led into night because it was three drop-offs. And it wasn't that many items. But anyway, it was about 8 miles in a direction that I wasn't used to going. But anyway, I go and I bring the items. I already had to call a lady to ask the lady, where are you? Where's your home or whatever, because it was kind of like behind a house and then another lot, and you turn down that one and you finally get to the home or whatever. And it was a trailer home. So we ended up going back there. Everything went smooth going back there to drop the stuff off or whatever. And her husband must have was a mechanic because they had, stuff all over the yard, parts and this, that, and the third. But I ended up backing up. And when I backed up, oh my God, I backed up into a deep mud sinking hole type deal. A ditch almost. Never seen it coming. I guess grass was covering it or whatever. She didn't have that in the instructions, not to come that far. Because even if I was paying attention, I still would have hit that hole because it was covered with grass. It looked like it was a part of the lawn. But needless to say, 30 minutes into the spark or whatever, I kept calling the woman, but it disappears. So you can't, once you complete the drop off, it's nothing that you can do. So I was like, Lord, I don't want these people to come out and do us anything and we still on their property or whatever, because, it was late night. So I called the sheriff, and I didn't record any of this because I was like only my third day in. Called the sheriff and they took forever to come. So I ended up having to call my husband or whatever. He was hotter than a 45. Why did you come way back here to take an order? Whatever, whatever. The girls was mad in the car. They was upset, scared, frightened or whatever. And then finally, the neighbor from across the yard was like, hey, are y'all stuck? Indeed, we was stuck. It was bad. Like my whole tire was embedded in that little hole or whatever. I was like, man, this is ridiculous. But they ended up pulling us out. And when they pulled us out with the big old truck, there coming the sheriff. I was like, man, they late and a dollar short. But anyway, so just be careful out there when you taking certain orders, and just be familiar with, your surroundings, because, man, that was scary. Because I was like, I don't want these people to come out and, thinking we trying to do something in their yard or in their neighborhood or whatever that I wasn't familiar with. But the neighbors across the yard, they were real nice, and they called the people who I had sparked the order to, and they all worked together as a team and, pulled us out. I was so ashamed, but I was thankful that we was able to, get it resolved or whatever. But let me read this and y'all enjoy the video. You have been teaching me that anxiety is a result of envisioning the future without you. So my best defense against worry is staying in constant communication with you. When I turn my thoughts on toward you, I can give all my worries and cares to you, knowing that you are about me. Help me remember to read your word and listen as I'm praying. making my thoughts a dialogue with you. Thank you for providing guidelines for me to follow whenever I consider upcoming events. First, I must not linger in the future because anxiety sprouts up worry and doubt when I wander there. Second, I need to remember the promise of your constant presence and include you in my thoughts as I plan future events. I confess that this mental discipline is challenging for me. My mind easily slips into daydreaming while I am making plans. But I am learning that the glorious reality of your presence with me now and forevermore outshines any daydream I could ever imagine. So I just wanted to read that snippet. Today is April the 17th, and that was just one of the prayers for today. And of course, it sums up with 1 Peter 5:7. Give all your worries and cares to God because He cares about you. And like I mentioned before, the anxiety that I had in the yard. And it was just so simple for them, but it was a big deal for me. I was like, oh my God, how long is it going to take? Like, we was in panic mode. But these men came out and, they saved the day. It was all good at the end of the day. What seemed like trouble for me was easy for them. And we were brought to safety. But this is the bundles that I sell. And I was just showing you guys that's what I was shopping in the store for. One of my coworkers brought this bundle from me. Thank you. Have a good day.